Visit sailrite.com for all your project supplies, tools, and instructions.
Hi, I'm Matt Grant at Sailrite, and today we're going to do a really simple project video. What I want to do is I want to create a protective mat for an area in a boat that sits in a well. So if you look at a lot of power boats today, you'll find that the galley, for instance, is actually recessed in a well where it's possible to put a mat that fits the whole area and doesn't really need any edge trim or anything else because it can't move because there are sides all the way around the mat. So what we're going to do is a simple pattern for that area, show you how to cut it with scissors, and then we're going to put it in place. It's as simple as that.
In this tutorial video, we'll show you how to make a floor mat for a yacht using luxury vinyl flooring material from Sailrite. This is an easy no-sew project that just requires a little bit of measuring, patterning, and then cutting out the luxury vinyl flooring.
Hi, I'm Matt Grant from Sailrite, and today I'm going to show you how to pattern for luxury vinyl flooring that we're going to put in the well area of this galley on this motor yacht. So the first thing we need to do is we just need to take some basic measurements, and because this area is so square, we're assuming 90-degree corners. We can use a tape measure to do the measuring and not really have to use a pattern material. We do have one area that's curved here that we'll have to do a pattern, but I can show you a simple way to do that with some paper towels.
First, we'll measure all of the straight sides.
For this measurement, we're going to find where we think the curve starts, or roughly where we think it starts, and I'm going to call that 34 inches, so I know it's just to the right of this wood joint in the flooring. I'm going to skip this area for now, and we're going to come under the cabinet again and over to here, straight across in line with the cabinet, and this one we're at 26 1/4 to the trim, or to the upright step. I'm not going to worry about this little triangular area, we'll just leave it unfilled. I have some paper towel to use as the pattern here, and this was the seam that we measured to get that 34 running this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that as a reference for a square, and I'm going to push this up like so until we get close to the cabinet under here, which we are, very close to the under base of the cabinet. And then I'm simply going to take my writing instrument and I'm going to scribe right at the base of that step. To get my curve. And it looks like we're a little bit short here, so we'll just write a note that we need to extend that out a little bit. But there's our curve that we can then use from the 34-inch point here in order to match up to where the cabinet hits, which will be in this area here. If we have any protrusions like this, we need to pattern them as well. So I'm going to pattern the width of the leg, and then I'm going to pattern the depth. So we know that's deep, that's the width, and then we can transfer that to our pattern.
Here's a look at our measurements for our mat after we finish patterning. You might want to draw this out on paper.
We've actually patterned two areas in the boat for this particular project. This is our mat that will be in the galley, and this is a mat that will actually go in a large storage area inside the boat. Because the Infinity fabric is so wide, I can actually get the pattern on a 1.5 yard piece of material, and I'll have this pattern here, and this pattern will be brought up over here. Now, one of the neat things about this type of a project is usually you have a lot of right angles and you have some simple cutouts. In this case, we have a curve here, and sometimes you can get away with something very simple to pattern those curves. This is just paper towel, and you can see and the nice thing about paper towel, and you'll see it when we pattern it on the boat, is that it bends nicely around obstructions. and then you can just get your score line in place. So you'll see that this mirrors the curve when we go to put this mat in the boat.
We'll start by squaring up the cut edge of our infinity woven vinyl flooring.
Since we can mark on the top here, we are doing it on this side. We could mark on the bottom side, which is our foam side. Depending upon the pattern and the darkness of this side, you may have to do that, but remember you have to then flip your pattern over to make it work.
We'll simply measure down that square edge to get the length for our mat.
Okay, so there's 50, and then I need to come down and get 23 3/4.
Now we'll cut off all the excess fabric down to that mark. That's our 73 3/4 inch mark. From that mark, we'll mark up the fabric 49 1/4 inches. Now we'll make sure the T-square is squared up with that edge and then measure up the fabric 53 3/4 inches. With the edge square, we'll now mark 26 1/4 inches up. This is where our pattern will start. Our pattern on the boat was 1/8 inch too small, so we've measured up 1/8 of an inch. Now, starting at that corner, we'll follow our pattern all the way to the end. Now we'll pull the material up on the table so we can mark the other side of our mat. And now we'll draw the final line to finish our mat. All that's left to do is cut on all the lines all the way around the perimeter and our mat will be complete. After we finish cutting it out, some of the residue may remain on the fabric, so we're going to use 303 multi-surface cleaner to clean off that residue from our grease pencil. As you can see, it worked beautifully. And finally, we'll cut out that small notch we patterned on the boat. We'll cut this notch slightly deeper than our pattern to make sure we have enough space when we take it to the boat.
So we finished our galley piece, and now we have this wonderful scrap left over. And the beautiful thing about this particular material is you can use it for a lot of things. So this could be used for your drawer liners, to protect the drawers and also to keep things quiet inside the boat. This can be used for any compartment liners, or you can make some additional mats out of it. In our particular case, we've got a piece that we need 20 inches of width, so we've got plenty of material here. So I'm not going to show it, but the process is exactly the same. So make use of every yard of this material you buy. It's wonderful stuff, and I think you'll really appreciate it when it's on your boat.
And now all we have to do is install our Infinity Luxury Woven Vinyl Flooring Mat in the boat. And here's what it looks like when it's finished. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call or email. We're glad to help. I'm Seth Grant, and from all of us here at Sailrite, thanks for watching.